threatened legal action against my family after they tried to steal the inheritance I got from my grandmother. I've been receiving messages non-stop from my maternal family and my siblings, and it has me second-guessing if what I'm doing is going too far. This past Christmas, I saw on social media that my brother proposed to my future Sil, who we'll call Amy. I was initially happy for them until I saw the ring, which Amy posted photos of. I immediately recognized it as my grandmother's engagement ring, and phoned my mom to ask if she had given my brother the ring as a placeholder. She brushed me off, saying that no, she gave him the ring on purpose because I hate Christmas, and Amy loves it. Context: I had always been closer to my paternal side of the family, especially my grandma. My grandmother passed away last year, and the only inheritance I got is her engagement ring. I was not meant to receive this ring until I'm 30. My grandmother loved Christmas, and it showed in her engagement ring. It's an emerald-cut diamond with tiny circle rubies and oval emeralds to look like holly. Also, I didn't always hate Christmas. 2 years back, I lost my BF of 10 years, my childhood BF, and my sorority sister in a car accident coming home from a Christmas party that we all attended. I have been in therapy, struggling with survivor's guilt, but am doing better now. I told my mom that the ring technically was meant to be mine, and that she couldn't take it. She told me that she had a box of my grandmother's jewelry, and I could just pick something else. I was stewing for a few days before contacting my paternal uncle, who was the executor. He was furious and told me that my mom had said she was going to give me the ring as a Christmas gift. He then said he could be in touch with a lawyer if I wanted to press charges. We talked for a bit more before hanging up. Armed with this information, I texted my mom, brother, and future Sil, saying that I had been in touch with my uncle and that I would press charges if the ring was not returned to either me or my uncle. My brother tried to say he really wanted to use the ring, that since I hated Christmas, that I didn't deserve it. I let them text me, using their threats as future evidence. I told them they had a week to return the ring, or I'd follow through with the police. Now, my mother's side of the family, as well as my other siblings, are hounding me. They all think I'm blowing things up. I'm not. I know I'm not. But with how everybody is acting, I feel like I'm going crazy. AITA for threatening legal action against my mom, brother, and SIL for stealing my only inheritance. Update 1. Hey y'all. Before we get into the update, there are a few points I want to make clear that have been brought up from my last point. First, my mom and paternal grandmother were on good terms before her passing. They weren't besties by any means, but they were kind to each other. Hence why my mother got a box of her jewelry, which mostly consists of brooches, but does offer a few of her better pieces, like her locket and a charm bracelet. Second, my father passed of a heart condition the year I graduated middle school, which is why he's not dealing with my mom. Since his death, my paternal family has really tried to bridge the gap he left, hence why I'm so close with them. And finally, YES, I understand my username may lead to the conclusion that this is fake. But I do write fanfiction. This is just a second account, since all my siblings know my main. But maybe I'll start posting stories in the stories subreddit and use this as my writing account. Who knows, lol. Now, time for the update. The day after I posted, Amy Futuresil texted me privately and asked me to meet up with her in secret. We organized a meeting for the next day at one of the local diners to grab lunch and talk. Meeting her was weird, since I didn't know how she would gauge the situation. Amy has never been mean-spirited, just blunt, not the rude kind of blunt either. She just a woman of a few words kind of deal. A few of the comments said she was the for accepting it, but the fact is, she hasn't been in the family long enough to know about my connection to the ring. She had only met my grandmother once or twice before my grandmother got sick. Once we sat down, she told me to tell her about my grandmother, which I initially thought was weird. but I got to telling her some childhood stories about my grandmother. How I would help her pick tomatoes from her garden to make fresh sauce. How we used to go on her porch and just watch the sunset. How during Christmas Mass, she always held my hand walking up, down the large steps, since the crowds would often lead to me being separated. Long story short, Amy seemed reminiscent about the situation before she immediately apologized. She hadn't known about the ring, just that it was a family ring, and that it meant she was one of us now. When she had seen the text, she confronted my brother, who brushed it off as "Op is just being dramatic. It's not like it's the only piece she has." Which is true. I actually do have my grandmother's pearl earrings and her pearl necklace, but that was a sweet 16 gift, not inheritance. That got Amy mad, and she went to stay with her family. She apparently had been in my shoes before, having been gypped by her older relatives regarding her own grandmother's inheritance. She returned the ring and said she plans to break off the engagement. I told her to really think about that. She then smiled and said that she couldn't be a part of a family that was so backhanded and cruel. We talked for a bit more and left on good terms. My brother really dropped the ball. She was a good one. Yesterday, my mom called me and told me I had gone too far, and now Amy doesn't want to be a part of the family. I asked her what she expected when Amy was a good-hearted person, who probably wouldn't want to marry into a family of liars and thieves. She said my brother was distraught when he came home and found she had left with her things. I told her maybe if they didn't try to take my ring, then maybe Amy wouldn't look at them like they were bad people, and maybe she'd want to still marry my brother. My mom called me a slew of names before hanging up. I asked my uncle that, now that I have the ring, could I just keep it? My uncle said that was fine, since he knew I had a safe that I could keep it in. It's a fancy, fingerprint one where I keep my registered firearm and legal documents. He just made sure to document me receiving the ring, so that this way he didn't go nutty trying to find it for my 30th birthday. I now wear it on my middle finger, since it's a little too big for my ring finger. I went on a date with my new we've been dating 9/10 months partner this morning, and they loved it. I plan to post a photo of us tonight or tomorrow, see how much I can stir the pot. Thanks to all who supported me, I knew I wasn't crazy. I've been the least favorite kid for years, and I've just gotten used to having to share or give up things. But my grandmother's ring was my hill to die on, and depending on how their behavior is, I may go NCAM currently LC due to this drama. Update 2. Okay, a few things I wanted to say before I finally tell you guys how everything wrapped up. Number 1, and most importantly, I am so sorry for using that word. I had no idea the origin of the word gypped was derived from gypped, as in gypsies, and is a slur against the Romani people. I apologize for using the word, and will phase it from my vocabulary. I meant no offense by using it in my post, and really do apologize if I did offend someone. Secondly, I took the advice of some people, and didn't block my family, which worked in my favor. Lastly, I really appreciate all the support I have received. It means the world to me. So, the top thing I should mention is about Amy. She recently moved, wanting a mostly fresh start. Her and I are still friends on social media, since we share common hobbies and interests. However, she wanted a mostly clean break, and only remains in LC with me, her cousin, and her best friend. According to her pictures on social media, she's doing pretty well for herself. I am so proud of her. Next thing is my family. After a few days of posts, I kept receiving texts, emails, and letters from family. Yes, I got letters. That surprised me too. I got annoyed at all the harassment and sent all the screenshots of my conversations with my mom, brother, the group chat with them and Amy, and my uncle, all with highlighted parts that showed they were wrong. Suffice to say that most of the family iced them out. The only ones who are still on my mom and brother's sides are my youngest sibling. I don't think they have a choice, since they still live with mom and are being forced to, and our one cousin who lives hours away. One of those alpha giga chad men the internet loves to mock. So, I'm not too worried anymore. Finally, me, I'm doing great. I recently started sewing since I want to start getting into cosplay, and I began doing yoga every morning. My partner and I still have date nights often, mostly consisting of board games, video games, or movies. Who has money to go out in this economy, lol. We even looked into rescuing a bird. My partner is allergic to dander, and they already suffer because of my other pets. So this pet is for them. Right now, my mom and brother haven't done anything illegal, but I did get security cameras just in case. The harassment has stopped. My partner and I are happy. Amy is doing well, and life is sweet. I think this is it. My mom and brother have finally realized they lost this fight, and I couldn't be happier. Story 2. Parents tried to force me to co-sign for a mortgage for my golden child sister and tried to ruin my credit. So, I cut them all out of my life. I, 28F, have been busting my butt for years to save for my own house. I work in software, so I make decent money, but it still takes forever to build up a good down payment. Meanwhile, my younger sister, 25F, is in grad school with barely any credit. Our parents, both mid-50s, found a house near them and decided she needs it. They made an offer without telling me, and now the deal only goes through if I co-sign. The problem? I had no clue they'd do this. My parents basically dropped a bomb. You have the best credit score, co-sign so your sister can get the house. They also hinted I should chip in for the down payment, because you've got the money. If I co-sign, I'll be on the hook if my sister can't pay. She's still in school, has debt, and zero backup plan. The bank might also reject my future mortgage application, since they'll see I'm already tied to another loan. But my parents say I'm selfish and forgetting family values. My sister's calling me a monster for leaving her stranded, and my mom threatened to cut off any future financial help, like wedding money, if I don't help right now. Some relatives think it's insane my parents tried to rope me into this after they already made the offer. Others say I should just do it for the family's sake. I feel guilty, but also mad they put me in this spot. AITA for protecting my own finances, or are they wrong for strong-arming me into co-signing a mortgage I never wanted in the first place? Edit. I'm actually adopted Lamau. Forgot to mention in my confused and angry state. My parents adopted me when I was very young because they'd been struggling to conceive. A few years later, they had my younger sister naturally, which was a huge deal to them. She was their miracle baby. Ever since, it's felt like my role in the family became the older, adopted one, while she was the golden child who could do no wrong. Growing up, I was expected to pitch in more, be more responsible, and generally look out for my sister. I worked my butt off in school, snagged scholarships, and eventually landed a good job in software. All the while, I felt like my family mostly saw me as the fallback option, in case anyone needed financial or emotional support. Now that I'm actually building my own life, saving for a house, focusing on my career, I'm realizing how my success just makes me look like a bigger piggy bank to my parents. The more independent I become, the clearer it is that I need to separate myself from the constant guilt trips and the unspoken expectation that I'll always bail them or my sister out. I love them, but I can't keep sacrificing my own future to maintain a dynamic where I'm never the priority. So thank you all for the wake-up call. Update 1. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I'm absolutely not signing my sister's mortgage, and I'm definitely not pitching in for any down payment. This whole thing was the final push I needed to realize how messed up our family dynamic has been for ages. I mean, I've always known it was bad, but having them basically try to volunteer me and my finances without even asking just crossed a line I can't ignore anymore. I'm done. I've decided to cut ties. I'm already in the process of dropping any financial entanglements we might have, cutting off shared accounts, making sure they can't use my information for anything, and basically scrubbing them from my finances. My job lets me work remotely, so I'm planning to move out of state soon. That was always in the back of my mind, but now it feels urgent. I need space, distance, and a real shot at a normal life without the constant guilt trips. I'm also locking down my credit, freezing it, changing passwords, everything. I'm not taking any chances that someone might try to open a line of credit in my name. I've seen enough horror stories, and I'm not about to become one. Thankfully, I'm not alone in all this. My close friends have been incredible. They're basically my real family at this point, helping me pack, offering me a place to stay if I need it, reminding me that I'm not crazy for wanting to protect my future. They've been the biggest source of support, and I'm honestly so grateful to have them in my corner. So yeah, that's it. I'm not signing. I'm leaving. I'm done. If my family wants to blow up at me for abandoning them, so be it. I've got to look out for myself, my credit, and my sanity. Here's to hoping things only get better from here. Everyone who commented their 2 cents are amazing people, and I thank you all for your support while I'm dealing with this. Truly thank you. Update 3. Discovered a credit card in my name. Okay, I was really hoping the update post would be the last one, but here I am. I didn't expect it to turn into a bigger mess. After deciding not to co-sign the mortgage for my sister, I started taking extra precautions with my finances, locking down my credit, pulling my full credit reports like you all suggested. I wanted to be absolutely sure no one could use my information without me knowing. That's when I stumbled on an active credit card I didn't open. Some of you guys warned me, and I guess I wasn't fast enough to lock down. It's been around for a couple of years now. It was being using, but I'm assuming my parents wanted to keep it from me with the intention of using it as leverage. As of yesterday, the statements show purchases that look a lot like household expenses. The billing address on file points right back to my parents' home. I confronted them via text because I'm currently a couple hours away with a close friend. They claimed I benefited from these expenses, which doesn't make much sense, like how did, because they never helped me with setting up my own apartment. Also, it explains why they assumed I'd be okay with co-signing. Turns out they've been using my credit for a while. Needless to say, I feel completely betrayed. This wasn't some tiny oversight. My parents have been quietly using my name to fund their expenses. Now I'm talking to a professional to figure out whether I should dispute the charges or close the account outright, without tanking my own credit in the process. It's nerve-wracking realizing how they went behind my back, even before this mortgage BS. At this point, I'm even more determined to move out of state to get distance from all this. My job is thankfully remote-friendly, so relocating won't wreck my career. My friends have been amazing, offering support, so I don't completely lose my mind. If it weren't for them, I'd be a mess right now. I'm not trying to be vindictive or overdramatic. I just need to protect myself. The trust is gone, and I don't see how I can maintain a healthy relationship with people who thought this was okay. It's sad, and I wish it didn't come to this, but I've got to prioritize my own future. I'll let you know if anything else major happens, but for now, I'm focused on fully separating my finances from my family, getting ready to move, and making sure I don't pay the price credit-wise for something I never agreed to. It's scary, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it to finally have a life and a credit score of my own.